Just wanted to have a little discussion here about this God business, right? So, from the beginning of time, Spirit would come down and bless certain people, and that was the Divine Mother, and she would only reveal the Son. And that created the haves and the have-nots, which is twofold. There was the savages that we came from. Hi, Jess. And there was the first ones who awoke, where the universe came to visit. And instantly, they were deemed different. And then the question became, well, who's God's people if God's taking care of all the savages? But then God shows up for one at a time and makes sorcerers, or people that automatically give off a different smell, a different being. And those ones were originally, when civilization was created, were called the sinners of the moon. But that took thousands of years, because every time a chosen one would appear, would wake up, then they would get all these ideas for inventions, how to make fire, how to make better houses, all this. And the savages that are just innocent under God would get jealous and would kill them and take whatever they could. So it's always been this battle between God and God. The question of, if nature is of God, then it's all taken care of and it all runs fine, but it's very savage-like. And anyone who wakes up is of God, but then one of two things: either the person gets a huge head on their shoulders and goes, I'm going to rule them all, or is a peaceful person and wants to help people and make inventions like Tesla, for instance, and they're killed and all their gifts are taken by the savages. And this has been a process that's been going on for 10,000 years. But ultimately, there's a huge story to it, but in every single book, in every single history, it all comes down to, it points to one thing. And there's a problem in how the world works that has to be solved. So during this process, they decided that they needed to divvy everyone up. They needed to keep those that are innocent, the savages that don't know any better, separately. And those that wake up, they had to somehow find a way to lure those people into contracts so that they could serve the system and help rule the planet. But there's a huge problem with that too, because those that are innocent have free will, and those that wake up have free will. And those that go into the system end up getting bent. They play good, they play evil. They're always being watched by their brethren. They're taken advantage of unless they will just be a vessel to be used. And then after they're dead, they'll be decided how they will fit into the history of the system in order to control everyone. Well, since nobody ever saw the mother and they only saw the son, they deemed to create the Bible. And in India, they separated the mother out from everyone as the highest deity that had to be divided infinitely, and created all the devas from Durga Maya, the first. but it's the first because she's never been in a vessel, never been captured. She has no face, no body, and there's only a ladder that each person gets different pieces of the ladder in order to reach her, or on the way to reach her, leaves behind as they develop when they're still blind, but being led by the divine. So they created the Bible, and that's a long divided story that I can explain as well, but I don't know if I'll do it at this time. Ultimately, the mother and the son cannot be divided. If they were in a vessel, they'd have to be a one and the same. And so they decided to create a magic spell across the face of the earth to trap the one known it, who was given the title as Jesus, and the Divine Mother, who is Sophia, Durga Maya, the Holy Spirit, and imprison them in one vessel. And place this magic spell across the world, and within the contents of that vessel by the labels placed upon it as a mirror to imprison God, to destroy this concept of God for all time, and to take him up into the ranks of those who rule society, to rule from the background while they keep him as a slave, or to cut him down and keep him out there with the savages and steal everything about him, and then create a secondary one, or an idol form within the boss ranks in order to rule society either way, to sacrifice him. Either he'll bow down to his creators of men, that's why they placed upon him the Son of Man, but it's the Son, so no, he's the Father and the Mother and the Holy Spirit, and he's innocent. Or to lead him to create all his things and make himself known as it happens slowly, and then to turn society against him, and to have the savages kill him while they honor their ego and the God who they wish to slay, so that they can be holier than thou either way. And that's where our story begins. Meant to disrespect everyone on the planet, meant to embrace everyone on the planet, meant to divide everyone on the planet, and overall, for Satan to be in control of the world through the powers that be. Which is why so many things don't make sense, but once you look into them, they do. Such as the separation of church and state. The separation. Yeah, there's no separation. The first government was created by the sinners, was created by the church, those who were awakened by Durga Maya and brought up into God, and then banded together in order to find a way to create the first civilization and to govern the garden that was created as the first city, or however you want to look at that. Where everyone has two within them, and that's Adam and Eve, the children. And the connection, and once it's been embraced, is the tree with the serpent and the apple. But as the Garden of Eden image shows, God was outside, and God is not part of it, but God created it all, but God's separate. And that's always been the thing, how God is a separate entity that goes around and touching people and giving them gifts, or protecting the innocent. And ultimately, the rulers want to control and want every knee to bow and everyone to be slaves under one way, or want everyone to be absolutely separate and divided. But that can't work if you have a system, because it has to have a ground, which is why they made the character known as Jesus, the head, the head and the tail that don't belong anywhere, that everyone worships, and the ground that everyone walks on, the mind and the soul, but nobody's allowed to have those things, and so everyone can be led along blindly as slaves. That nobody has anything without every other. But the funny thing about having divinity is the people around you reject you and have everything they need because they've already bowed, and they hold on to their ego greatly, and that they have split tongues and a divided mind. And those of God naturally are innocent to a crazy degree, and just believe and follow suit. And that's why they created this fog over society and created all these magic spells through the Nazis, among other things, in order to say drugs are bad, for instance, and then make sure drugs are everywhere in society, and most of which is propagated by the police departments, the CIA, and the government, so that they can profit on it on both ends. And to take those that either seek power or they're innocent and want to do good things to join groups like the Freemasons and the Fraternal Order of Police or things like that. And then those that are higher up in the shadows, split them this way and that way, and then get them all mixed up. And so the good ones have to go to the dark side, and then the bad ones are either split off into special units in order to carry out evil missions, or in order to control everyone, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And all revolved around God, who has never been here on earth and is of all things, and was set up to be imprisoned within a single vessel. And just like it says in the Bible, even though that is a story of magical and epic proportions, cast upon all people and the ego, but especially against the one that they chose or that would come, that he would call himself God, and then all the people would kill him. And that is where we are in this story. Because I am not of ego. And I've been greatly abused my entire life in order but allowed only things to pollute myself. And anybody who was good acted one way and then did something evil in return in order to make me think that people are evil or bad, so that I'd turn to the dark side, or to fall into drugs, and then to turn around and go, okay, I'm with the system, and so drugs are bad, or one way or another. And it's all a magic spell in order to destroy humanity within all people, and to create this, to give the power over to evil. And that we will not do. So the walls close in here every day. That's the way it's been since the day I was born. As I walk alone, protected only by invisible forces, and always attacked by nearly everything that's around, if there's people. And so I just want to thank everyone who cares and supports, and I bestow my blessings upon you. Thank you.